in my mind, it's believable. Saw it at the time and it's achievable. Now I got the drive, get the key to go. Got the key to go, if I believe it though. Yeah, being in this space, I know I gotta hold my hope down. Seeing what it takes, I gotta know that I can show. Questioning myself if I believe it though. No question if I'm really a believer though. Now you should take into account that my accountability. Take into account I must account for what I really do. Being in this space, I'm in the sea. I only ever make what every day I can't believe. I gotta go. This is the only life I know. I believe it in my mind, so I know it's time to show. This is the only life I go. I do believe it. Do you believe it? That's it. All you will believe it till the end. When your phones are low, can you believe it in again? No longer ever questioning yourself if you believe it though. You never questioning yourself if you believe it though. Now that's one thing about the future.
Okay, alright. Hello everybody, we're back again. I'm not sure why the stream got shut down or something. Definitely not an internet issue because I'm on fiber internet and I'm supposed to be getting over 1 gigs per second, so definitely not a speed issue. If anything, I think it might be streaming too fast, but I thought I solved that. Okay, so I'll monitor the stream and see if there are any drop frames, but so Bill was talking about how to get into trading, and he basically said the best way is to just paper trade. Don't trade with real money until you have some experience making money on paper, and then start actually putting up actual money and capital. Hello, Crazy Head. Welcome to the stream. Raro Bro, welcome. Great to have you here again. All right, so Juan Martinez is saying, talk about Flash Loans and Aave platform. So I did talk about Flash Loans on the last live stream. Actually, so I'm not sure if you heard about the Flash Loans, Bill. But if not, I definitely think that's something that we should bring up again. So for those who don't know, they're now Ethereum-based Flash Loans. And I think this is really going to be one of the things that could make DeFi go to the moon and beyond. Obviously, I'm just kind of speculating. But for those who didn't hear the story, somebody who's anonymous was able to use a platform called BZX, I believe, or BZK. I have to double check. BZX. It's really a decentralized Ethereum platform, and he took a loan with no collateral, and ended up making over $360,000. And you're probably wondering, how does somebody get a loan with no collateral? Well, I mean, that's why this was very innovative, because the way it works is technically you can take a loan with no collateral as long as it's paid back in one transaction. So what this person did is he made a smart contract. So everything was one transaction with the smart contract, but inside that smart contract, he had 5 different services he used. He basically took money from some, I think, Compound or DYDX. Then he basically took a hedge. He went long on Bitcoin on an Ethereum wrapped BTC pair. So basically an ERC20 token that's backed by Bitcoin, and then went short on Ethereum. Then he went on Uniswap, and basically this is the part that's kind of illegal. This is really market manipulation, and he forced the price of Ethereum to dump, and he made a killing on his short position. He closed that out. Then he covered all his trades, paid off the debt, and kept the profits. So long story short, it's basically financial engineering. He did a trade with leverage without having to put up any collateral in one transaction. And the company that basically kind of had this glitch that was available. So the company is called BZX. So I've pulled it up here on DeFi Pulse. BZX. It's a lending platform. So they had insurance, and they have reimbursed anybody who was on the losing side of that trade. Because as they say, it is either you win or you lose. So while this person won, people on the other end lost a bunch of money. So they're able to cover that. Now, Bill, what's your take on this? I mean, because this comes from the Wall Street, right? From derivatives markets, and being able to now do this on a blockchain anonymously in a decentralized fashion. I mean, this seems pretty chaotic.
Well, I mean, yes, it is chaotic, but this is as old as the hill, right? I mean, people were doing stuff like this in commodity markets in the 80s, derivatives in the 90s. I mean, this type of stuff, people inventing arbitrage strategies helps create liquidity. Yes, this person may or may not have done something that is right or wrong. The fact that someone's getting this creative, it means the market's getting a lot more sophisticated. Mm-hmm. We're not in like the buy a Bitcoin with an ugly sweater market and watch it go up. And we're not doing that anymore. It's different. Smarter people are involved. Okay. And when smart people get involved, bull markets happen.
Right. Yeah. So this is the exchange. It's called BZX. And according to DeFi Pulse, it's a decentralized protocol on Ethereum for lending and trading with margin and leverage. So if we pull up, this is their site. It's actually a nice design. Looks like it's the same designer for DNT District 0x. So the product this person used was Fulcrum. So we see here it's DeFi margin lending and trading platform. So let me pull this up here. Okay, so margin made simple. Fulcrum is a powerful DeFi platform for tokenized lending and margin trading. So you can do a 5x long or short trade. Okay, with no KYC. And it's non-custodial. Everything is tokenized. I mean, this seems like they're asking to get shut down by the SEC. Right. Okay, I mean...
Right, I mean... You know, financial engineering, new knowledge is great. Troublemakers, they're always going to be there, right? The question is, you know, are the troublemakers creating new strategies or are they hurting the market? This troublemaker, okay, they're going to get shut down, doesn't sound good, but somebody is getting more sophisticated. Okay, it only takes one guy to start a trend, right? Now, hopefully we're not going to be manipulating the price of Ethereum, but leverage strategies, derivatives, custom advice, this is what institutions provide.
Right. I mean, I can say this definitely got my attention into looking into how to leverage just to learn more about how these platforms work, because this does seem like the future, because I think because this is something that I think can attract institutional investors, obviously in a more compliant fashion, but being able to really have this level of financial engineering innovation definitely does get the attention of some big players. But this definitely does scare me because no KYC with 5x leverage, obviously it's nowhere close to the 50x leverage on some platforms, but this can definitely, because there is no regulation. There's no market manipulation that can be controlled. And I think that scares regulators. That's why this issue is really getting all the press out there, because imagine if this was millions of dollars. Imagine if this was $1 billion. Because insurance can't cover every case. And we've had issues with smart contracts before as well with the DAO hack. So imagine if that was on leverage. So yeah, it's definitely very scary, but definitely an interesting platform. I'll have to check this out some more. Okay, Joe Ball is saying, Ian, if you like DeFi, search Ryan Sean Adams, The $1 Trillion Case for ETH. There's a Twitter thread by him worth a read. Yeah, I think I've heard of him. He's the one who has the Substack newsletter, I believe. Okay, so here we see they do have an insurance fund. 10% of the interest paid by borrowers. Okay, so then they also have one other platform called Torque. This seems more for loans and borrowing. I think this is for term loans. And then they do have some blog posts kind of walking people through how to do all this. But yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend everybody checks out the site defipulse.com. It's a good place to kind of keep an eye on DeFi. Right now, Maker has the largest dominance. Almost 60% of the money is in Maker. Right now it's 57%. But so if we had to rank the DeFi projects right now based on how much money they have locked up, it's Maker, Compound, Synthetics, Instadap, Uniswap. So definitely very interesting times. As mentioned before, I think this is how Ethereum is going to go over $1,000 in my opinion. If just looking from purely the adoption and usage part of their growth. Okay, all right. So back to the AMA. All right, NEO is up this year, but where will it go in 2020? Very strong fundamentals, probably the best out there with NEO 3.0 and Microsoft Azure. Okay, Bill, maybe you can pull that up. Let me also pull it up here from Tokenmetrics and see what NEO says. Okay, so overall, Tokenmetrics think it's good. If we go to rankings wise, NEO would be right now it's 28th on our Tokenmetrics ranking based on the current grade. But I mean, I think NEO can definitely make a move with China because it's really known as the Chinese Ethereum, and I think Ethereum is going to do well, but I don't think Ethereum will ever be the number one smart contract blockchain protocol in China. I think it's a tough market to enter without really catering purely to the Chinese audience. So Ontology and NEO are really more at the forefront of that. All right.
Okay, so for NEO, I'm looking here at NEO versus Bitcoin. It looks like on this last move up, we had some, enthusiastic sellers based on the volume. Okay. So I think if it was a trading play, right, this all looks to me like kind of a head and shoulders bottom, right? This is the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
These are the shoulders. Okay, and the head is down here in the center of the screen. So it looks like this could go a lot higher. Right now, would I do Ethereum or would I do NEO? I do Ethereum, honestly, because of this whole idea of what Ian just talked about, right? Like it's a currency, and what the DeFi market is creating for the currency is an interest rate, a yield curve for crypto. How does something become money? Well, you use it to pay for things and you can get interest when you deposit it. So yes, if NEO is the Chinese Ethereum and Ethereum is going to moon, then NEO could go with it. If I had a preference, I would actually say stick with Ethereum. Because they're not thinking about, if you're in China, you're not thinking about, do I like NEO or Ethereum? You're like, I'm selling my NEO because I need to go to Costa Rica. Right.
Yeah. Real world use case, as they say.
Right. And you just have to, in NEO, you just have to watch out for people just going, oh, look, I'm out. I got to sell because I got to do other things. That's what that volume spike on that rally could have been about. Right. There are practical matters.
Right. Okay. Good question. Sorry. Good comment. Next question. Okay, this is not a crypto question. I don't really know. Did Epstein kill himself? I don't know. I know there's been lots of speculation about that. I'll leave that to other people who have heard about that. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, hold on. Let me just go quickly through this and see how many. Wow, we have lots of questions. Not sure we can get through all the questions today. 17 questions. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, once again, if you want to ask your question, go to menti.com, menti.com. Use the code 143849, 143849. Okay. So this question is: so what if we make $100 million worth from crypto, but are afraid to cash out to USD in case USD craps the bed and disappears? Should we take profits in BTC and sit on it? I mean, it's tough, but I would say if you make $100 million worth, cash out for sure. I mean, cash is king, but diversify into other assets as well. So when we say cash out, I mean, me personally, I'm not really saying just hold cash. It could mean invest in real estate, buy a house, buy cash flow positive assets that give you cash flow. Any comments on that, Bill?
Yes. So in the crypto world, we're obviously, pro crypto and we like to make jokes about fiat. But if we're in a world where you're too scared to sell your crypto because you don't want to put it in the US dollar because it's somehow unstable, you won't be investing in real estate in that environment. You'll be investing in like beef jerky and bottled water and fishing. Right. So
Armageddon.
Okay. So, just be careful. I mean, we want crypto to be an accepted part of the foreign exchange market, but this whole like dollar going to zero thing is not in anybody's interest.
Yeah. I mean, the US dollar could definitely inflate, but you can always diversify outside of currency risk, right? So as I mentioned, real estate. I also mentioned you can maybe get some gold or some other precious metals. That's not really my thing, but ideally, in an ideal world, you want to diversify across the board. So there are definitely ways for you to still store your money in some places that make you more money. All right, let's go to the next question here. Okay, this question is about Nash. We've not really looked at Nash much. I know it's been there for a while. We do have it in tokenmetrics, and it's not scoring so well from even from a TA perspective. I don't think it's on TradingView, so I don't think we can plot that.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. What does it mean? What does it mean when an ERC20 token has a mainnet? That means that they've basically fully launched the live version and it's available and it's trading. But not only that, but it's actually being used. So, for example, when Ethereum, there are phases. You have a test net where something is being tested out, and once it goes fully live, and anybody can go and use it, and you're using the actual network live in production. That's what mainnet means. So Ethereum right now is in mainnet, but Ethereum 2.0, they're still working out the kinks. So they're still testing it out. So it's not fully live yet. So they'll first have a test net, then they'll launch the mainnet where everybody can go and test it out. So when you hear the term they've launched their mainnet, it's basically saying they're fully live and the full version is now being used in production by anybody in the world. Okay, let's go to the next question. So next question is, do you think DBFT is better than POS and proof of work? So good question. That's a question I typically leave to the developers on our team to handle. I would say right now, at least in terms of token metrics, we are giving more points to proof of work over proof of stake and DBFT. which is I think dynamic Byzantine fault tolerant. Delegated Byzantine fault tolerant, but it's not really my expertise, so I'm kind of out of the wheelhouse on that. Have you looked into any of those, Bill?
No, I have not. I just follow whatever the market is. The market's all into proof of stake right now. So I track what Mr. Market is tracking.
All right. And one thing to add to that, I mean, it depends how you define better. So definitely not in terms of security, because proof of work is the most secure, but it's also the most energy wasteful out of all the others, right? That's why Ethereum is planning to switch over to proof of stake. So then, I mean, if you have a delegation, so far the protocols that have done it thus far, people have called them centralized because, so for example, if you delegate and you choose a handful of validators or nodes on the network, and those are the only ones who can validate transactions, it's still centralized in a way. It's kind of the issue people had with Facebook Libra. You had the Facebook Libra Association, I believe, where you have up to 100 different companies around the world, but they'll be the only ones that can do that. They can validate nodes and transactions. It does bring some credibility, but there are some downsides to it. I know people said the same thing with Hedera Hashgraph. They have the Hashgraph Council, and they have great companies on board, and they rotate it every 3 years. They have Google, they have Boeing, Dutch Telecom, which is basically T-Mobile. They have great companies on board, but it's centralized. So it's depends on what you need when you're building an application on a blockchain. Do you not care for centralization and you want to have faster transactions, or do you care more about having something that's fully decentralized and you'd rather go with Bitcoin and proof of work where it's a lot more decentralized? So you can't really say one is better than the other. It depends on your use case. Okay, all right. Next question. Why do you think Engine token has not been on Coinbase yet? I mean, this is a question nobody knows, but they have been doing well. They partnered with Samsung and some other big companies, and they've really surprised me because I do recall looking at them over 2 years ago, and I quite frankly did not believe in them at all. And they've done a great job kind of proving me wrong and proving the whole world wrong. But I'm not sure why they're not on Coinbase yet. All I can say is if you go to Coinbase's, they have their own system of analyzing cryptocurrencies that they've put up on their website. I forget what it's called, but it's Coinbase something. And if you go through that, you can probably maybe get an idea as to why they're not listed there yet. But that's really just pure speculation. What do you think of Cody? Okay, so Cody. I mean, I was an investor in Cody. It didn't really do as well as anybody would have hoped, myself included. I think I'm fully out of Cody. I think I sold everything, to my knowledge. Because I think recently I had some tokens that were vested and locked up that unvested that I got out of. Are you able to pull up Cody on TradingView, Bill?
Let me see. What's the symbol?
COTI. So as I was pulling that up, I mean, from a fundamental perspective...
No, I don't have it here.
It's not there? Yeah, so from a fundamental perspective, it was good, but it hasn't really done well as I would have liked. Now, if we pull it up here on Tokemetrics, looking at purely the TA score, now we haven't finished doing the full review on it, but from a TA perspective, we have it as neutral. So but I see here it has been going up. It went up from about 1 cent to almost 3 cents. Okay, so definitely some improvement here in alt season, but it's not a place I would put my money in or hold my money in. I think the better alts out there, in my opinion. Alrighty. Okay, what time is it here? Okay. Okay, so next question here from the audience. KuCoin IEOs. Okay, KuCoin IEOs did 3.5x for Cody. Chromia 3x, Trias 4x from the bottom. How is another one? How is MTV technically and fundamentally? Okay, KuCoin is not on TradingView, so not sure we can do TA on any of those. On Cody, I just covered. If I pull up, okay, so Chromia. Let's see Chromia. This one we also hadn't finished grading. So, yeah, this we haven't finished looking at as well. Trias. No, MTV. So we don't really have many KuCoin IEOs in our own tokenmetrics, and they're not on TradingView as well, so we can't really answer that, unfortunately. Okay, let's take some comments here from the audience on YouTube. Okay. You would like to see more coins on Coinbase? I mean, me too. Coinbase now did add leverage trading, which is very interesting. Kyber is a win. Kryptonite says sell everything while you can. I wouldn't say sell everything, but take some profits off the table, because it also depends on what your investment time horizon is, because some people are cautious of taxes, especially here in the US. So if you're looking to pay short-term capital gains, then maybe that's fine. But if you're looking for long-term capital gains, then you have to wait longer than 1 year to sell. Okay, take a look at Ren too. Advisor is a Kyber CEO. So I've been hearing a lot about Ren protocol. That they did raise money a while back. Let me see if we have that in our system here. Okay, so we do have it in our system. And from a TA perspective, the system is bullish, very bullish actually. Are you able to find that one, Bill? That's REN, Ren.
Well, I have something here. It doesn't look like it trades very much.
All right. Let me. Okay, so Bill's saying it doesn't really trade much. Okay, so but Tokenmetrics basically says it's bullish, but that's purely just the TA. So as a short-term trade, it is looking good, but there are also better opportunities, according to Tokenmetrics, for short-term trades as well. So basically depends what your goal is. All right, so I think we may have to wrap this up soon. Okay, Team Crypto 101. Ian, what do you think about Solo? We did look at that a while back. We were not so bullish on it. I met the team in Malta. They had a booth there. And our team did look into it because they were doing a private sale late last year. So we have just purely the fundamental grade. Fundamental grade is not so good. Okay, next question. Is it possible that the crypto market cap becomes more expensive than all fiat money in the world combined? Oh, wow. So basically saying, can crypto surpass all the money in the world? Okay, so
Well, in
go
that
ahead, Bill.
environment, we're not going to the moon. We're moving to the moon.
Yeah.
Okay, so in other words, um, I think what the person is trying to ask is, can it become more popular than fiat money? Yes, it can become a trend. It can become more popular. If you start talking about surpassing U.S. money supply or global money supply, well, maybe, but that's because
Or some other central bank issues their entire currency in crypto, then yes, that that could possibly happen. Actually, if anything, I don't think it happens without that happening. You kind of have to have all the central banks co-sign because I mean, crypto is already getting a hard enough time as it is. Imagine if that were to happen. They definitely would have to have the endorsement of central banks. All right. Okay. Next question. All right. So, any thoughts on the daily and weekly for Atom BTC on Binance? Okay, Atom Cosmos. Cosmos has been a favorite of ours. Okay, Bill, could you pull that one up? Let me also see what Tokenmetrics says about that.
sure.
So Cosmos fundamentals have always been solid. So our platform says it's good, 84% score, almost 85%. So Cosmos would be, it's in the top 20 with the 18th rank in our Tokenmetrics Moon Index at the moment. And then Bill's going to be pulling that up shortly.
All right, I'm almost there. Here it comes. Okay, folks. So let's talk about this. So this is Cosmos. Okay, it trends up, and then it retraced 50% of the way back, and then it bounced. Okay, so in English, Cosmos went up. It had a normal correction. And then once it got to a certain point and some weaker longs gave up, people came rushing in to buy it. Okay. So I think this is incredibly bullish for Cosmos. I think Cosmos versus the dollar could double. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the details because, late in a 2-hour broadcast, it might give you a headache. But when you look at, like Atom versus the dollar, Cosmos, you see this like sort of channel formation that it's in, this like slow creep up. All right. When you see that, there was a guy, his name was Jesse Livermore. He was featured in a book, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. And to keep it simple, when you see that slow creep, that's the prelude to a much bigger move. And we've talked on and on about Cosmos. I mean, if crypto is a transit system, if crypto is going to become real money, then cross-chain communication is a no-brainer, right? And it's just a question of time before everybody realizes it. And I think Cosmos is also on the proof of stake sort of party train, if you will. So I think when people figure this out, if Cosmos goes up, this is what I would say. If Cosmos goes up, it's going to go up a lot. If it doesn't go up, it's probably just going to go sideways. But, Cosmos could be a 2x versus the dollar.
All right. Sounds good to me. Okay. All right. Going on to the next question. How does the market react if Ethereum 2.0 is delayed or arrives not as promised? Wow. Okay. That's definitely a good question. That's a doozy. I mean, I think leading up to it, the market sentiment will still be very, very bullish. They would have to almost fail epically for the market to dump Ethereum or even cause alts not to do well. because the hype leading up to it. I mean, I think the probability is that it's going to be well received, I think, because they would probably test everything out before launching the mainnet. But let's say there's a hiccup, or, I mean, this is really a Black Swan event, I think. Let's say it gets hacked, kind of like the DAO hack. I wasn't around in crypto at that time, so I don't really know exactly what happened. But my guess is the market did have blood in the streets. I would take it. So you always want to hedge, kind of like the old adage, buy the rumor, sell the news. So something kind of like that. Maybe if you're planning to take profits, take before the actual launch event. This is really more like almost event-based trading, which isn't really my specialty. What's your take on this, Bill?
All right. Well, I would go back to the Tesla example. Okay. So when I was back in the equities world, Tesla was in this like $400 range, and it slumped down to like 300 something. And, everyone was like, oh my God, if Tesla delivers one less car than promised, the stock's going to zero and the short sellers are going to attack. And Musk got in trouble with the SEC trying to fend off short sellers. 2 years later, stocks double. All that drama about, oh my God, they can't build cars. I mean, you can't believe it. They had guys inside the factories. So much drama. Really? It's the same thing with Ethereum. If it comes out and there's a glitch, okay, you're right. The market's not going to like it. 2 years from now,
it won't matter.
It's not going to matter. Right. And I think we're in the type of a market where, Ethereum 1.0, Ethereum 2.0, it doesn't matter. It's a currency. You can use it to create other currencies. It's a currency and a tech stock at the same time. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, check where NASDAQ futures are right now. Check what's happening and say, do you want that, or do you want Ethereum with a hiccup? Or do you want equities with a coronavirus? No.
That's a great perspective. Great perspective. All right. Thank you, Bill. Okay. On to the next question. Okay. So, why is the crypto community so confident the end of 2017 can happen again? And why is the IRS so stubborn to accept crypto as payment? All right. I mean, I think just looking at the you kind of have two trends. You have the technical analysis on the TA side showing that we're now heading into a bull run. And then you also have the fundamentals changing. You have Ethereum 2.0. You have the Bitcoin halving with a decrease in supply of Bitcoin. So you have DeFi happening. You have all these things that were not there. And I think looking at all the factors together, it shows that we're most likely going to be going into a bull run. Bill?
Okay, so crypto believers are like people who believed in the internet in 2000. Like, Jeff Bezos started out by selling books. Okay. And they stuck around because they were believers in the web and in e-commerce, which, today we take for granted like air and water, right? So crypto is made up of believers. So there's sort of like a perma-bullish group built into it. That's okay, all right? You just have to manage your emotions around that. Now, in terms of Uncle Sam taking something other than the dollar for payment on taxes, let's leave. Just pay the IRS what you need to pay them in dollars, and use your crypto for other things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the government would ever turn down money. So the more options they give you to take your money, the better it is for them. So I think that kind of explains why they're open to crypto as a way to pay your taxes. All right. So thank you guys for the kind words. Thank you, Team Crypto 101. He's saying thanks guys for information and great knowledge. Thanks Ian and Bill. Great answers from Joe Ball. Thank you guys. Yeah, if you guys like the show, be sure to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Also check us out on Twitter at Tokemetrics Inc. Check Bill out on Twitter as well. His handle is there at crypto_noble, and mine is at Diary of a Made Man. Also check out our podcast as well to get your crypto analysis and insights on the go in audio form. Just go to Spotify or Apple, iTunes, or whatever platform you're in, and just type in the Tokemetrics podcast. All right, so next question. This is about an IEO. France is my TV chain. We've not looked into this, unfortunately, so can't really comment much on this. Okay. All right, so this is a coronavirus question. On a scale from 1 to I need to stock up on food ASAP, how serious is the threat of the coronavirus to the United States? Wow. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't been following things, so I'm not the person to tell you. Have you been following much on this, Bill?
Sure. Absolutely. Okay. So let's do it this way. We're not biologists, we're not doctors, right? So what's more scary? The coronavirus in the United States or people's reaction to cases of the coronavirus? Right? We can assume it's going to happen. We can probably assume it's already happening. Let me just say it this way. People who live in flood zones, they have 2 weeks worth of supplies. They have food, medicine, a tent, a bug out bag. It's just logical that you would have these things. But it's very hard to get your head wrapped around of, gee, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to buy 2 weeks worth of stuff and I'm not going to touch it because it's my emergency supplies, right? So whether it's bad weather, a snowstorm, the coronavirus, you want to make sure that you're okay in the event people get silly, because you can Google pictures of what happened in Hong Kong in supermarkets when people freaked out. So the answer is always protect yourself, always supply yourself, and people's reaction to an event is often worse than the event itself. I mean, if we have a plague, that's a zombie apocalypse, 2 weeks worth of provisions is not going to help you. Right. But you should still be prepared anyway, just like you should be prepared when you trade crypto or do anything else.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. So just to kind of add on to that, my take. So I've just quickly pulled up here an article from the New York Times. This was from 2 days ago. Coronavirus cases in the United States reached 34 and are more than expected. Now, I mean, from what I've been reading in the news, I haven't read much news on it, but it's contagious, more contagious than SARS, which happened, man, I was a kid. I think I was probably maybe in college or high school when SARS happening, but it was contagious, but it's not as deadly. What I've been reading is that the people that are dying from the coronavirus have been typically elderly people, so people who might not have who might not have a strong immune system compared to young people. But I think overall, going back to your question, how concerned should we be? I mean, if you're old, basically, if you're maybe, I would say 65 or older, and you live in a city in America that has lots of international traffic, especially traffic from Asia, maybe you should be concerned. But I would just type in your city and coronavirus and see if there's anything in your city. But in DC, there hasn't really been much. So myself, quite frankly, I haven't been that scared. I haven't gone out and began buying masks yet. But maybe, who knows, maybe that will change, because DC is a pretty international city but I've been going out, no issues per se, but I would say just listen to the government, because Trump did issue a warning, a travel ban to China for Americans. So I know I was being invited to go to Token 2049 conference in Hong Kong, which was supposed to happen in March. And they reached out to me the day Trump issued the travel ban. And after that, I said, if the government is telling you not to travel to China, it's probably a good idea to listen. And I think once they lift it, then that probably means it's okay to start traveling to China, or that they think the risk of the coronavirus is decreasing. But I mean, at the end of the day, I would say leave it up to the experts. So follow either the World Health Organization or some other sites or resources would have more information on how it's affecting your city. But I mean, I'm not stocking up things from the pantry quite yet. So I'll just stop there. Anybody else with any comments on this? Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, Ray is asking, hey Bill, are you on any other social media platforms?
Well, for crypto, I usually do Twitter.
Twitter, yes.
Right.
So
Twitter is my crypto pipeline. I'm contemplating crypto Instagram, but Twitter is where it's at for me right now.
Crypto Instagram. I mean, I am on Instagram, but it's not really crypto. Nobody's really posting like analysis. Instagram is more of a lifestyle platform, more just posting traveling and lifestyle and vacationing and things like that. It's more of a flashy platform.
Right. I stick to Twitter. I actually like my Instagram kind of like I have like a lot less followers than Facebook, and I actually kind of like it that way.
Yeah.
That's why I'm contemplating if I have to go to Instagram, it'll be a separate crypto account. But I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, so I like Instagram because it's really good for showing anybody who follows you a day in the life. So kind of it's more like behind the scenes. So I like to post Instagram when I'm traveling to conferences, just posting pictures and videos of the conference. Okay, so we have a question here from Mozon. He's saying, what do you think of the lunch with Justin Sun and Warren Buffett? I mean, I think it was great for crypto. He gifted Buffett some Bitcoin, so now we can say Buffett has some Bitcoin, some BTC. Overall, it seemed good and positive. I know there was lots of attention and drama around it, but overall, regardless of what people think of Justin Sun, I think that move was great for crypto, because I think crypto community has to stop all the infighting and posturing on social media and realize that we're all in this together. We're all trying to take crypto to the moon and get more adoption, and things like this are a win-win for all of us. What's your take on that, Bill?
Right. So it's not the first publicity stunt in the history of markets to promote either a coin or a product, right? And I think when Justin Sun is like 60 years old, he'll be able to tell people, I went to lunch with Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like perspective. It's like, there was all this drama around it, but it'll probably be a memorable moment for crypto. And if Sun had the money to pull it off, should he have spent that money? I don't know. But for him personally, I mean, he went to lunch with Warren Buffett.
That's a win for all of us. I mean, I wish I had lunch with Warren Buffett. I mean,
right. That picture on his wall 4, 5, 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, because he's a legend for any investor, crypto or no crypto, even on Wall Street. Everybody's a fan of Warren Buffett, one of the best, if not best, investors of all time. and he stayed with his roots. He stayed there in Omaha, Nebraska. Drives I think a Buick or Oldsmobile that he's had for a very long time. Whereas he's very, very humble and very modest. I think it's a lesson all of us can learn. I know myself included, especially my first crypto bull run kind of had me feeling myself way too much. But I think it's a lesson that all of us kind of can learn, right? If somebody who's that successful just likes drinking a Coke and having McDonald's, just very simple, down to earth, it's something all of us can learn from that. So I think it's great to have him own some crypto. All right, so next question here. What do you think about the future of Bitcoin mining or crypto mining? It's not for normal people these days. Great question. So actually, if anything, this could be my hot take. I think crypto mining is going to die because Bitcoin mining is big now, but the world is becoming more environmentally conscious, and proof of work I don't think is going to scale and be around for the next 10 years. So that's why we see Ethereum is shifting from proof of work to proof of stake. So I think crypto mining will only work if we innovate and find a way to mine without wasting so much energy. And I don't really see that happening anytime soon. And the newer generations are really environmentally conscious. The Time Person of the Year was Greta Thunberg, I believe is her name, that teenager who's really now the poster kid or child for climate change. So wasting energy is not kosher. We see the same thing with other industries, with cars. That's why Tesla is now really one of the better performing stocks, and I believe it has a larger market cap than GM and then it's the largest American car company based on market cap, I believe. Right? So energy is something that has to change. So for that matter, I think staking is the future. Staking doesn't waste as much energy, and that's why you see staking now really coming back into the public sentiment now with Ethereum and Tezos and Cosmos, and almost every new protocol has staking. What's your take on that, Bill?
Okay, well, I think sometimes, the first people in, like the miners, they could be like the Netscape of crypto. They were like the first guys, and then they get surpassed. So that seems like common knowledge. But I think, on the other hand, technology may advance to the point where you don't need all that energy for proof of work. You don't need all that energy for mining. I mean, what happens if 10 years from now there's a console that every time you play the game console, you're also mining crypto? Or what happens if every time you drive your Tesla has a mining rig built inside of it? So, miners, entrepreneurs will figure out how to make money. Crypto miners are entrepreneurs. I don't think they're just going to all stand around and go, gee, let's go away. Are they going to have giant farms that eat all the planet's energy? No. But, things always change, and it's never what you expect.
Well said. I think that's definitely a good hedge. All right, let's go to the next question. Okay, Nash exchange. We already covered Nash. Okay, thoughts on RPX? That is not on the platform. Not sure what token that is. Yeah, that's not on the platform, and I doubt we have TA on that. Okay.
Right, I don't have it in TradingView.
All right. So, hey, Ian, you recently did a video on security tokens. What are your opinions on Polymath? I don't really have an opinion on Polymath. Security tokens still have not taken off. I think just based on the regulatory issues and compliance, it's just still kind of in a gray zone, and there's no liquidity yet. So I think if anything, we have to give it a few more years until that takes off. But I mean, long term, I think security tokens could be a big part of the crypto ecosystem. But based on what Hester Pierce said, the SEC commissioner, about the 3-year safe harbor for crypto, if that ends up happening, then we might not really need security tokens, at least for the use case of crypto of cryptocurrencies being used in ecosystems. However, we could still have use cases for security tokens for other things, for actual securities, like real estate and other things happening on Wall Street and things like that. What's your take on Polymath, Bill?
All right. Well, I have to confess to being, a big Polymath fan for a long time. And I remember when they first came out, they were like the biggest group on Telegram. Telegram had to actually expand how many users you could have to accommodate Polymath. Mm-hmm. All right. So I love the idea. I love their platform, the way they can literally walk you through creating a security token from compliance to legal to marketing. The question with security tokens is, how do you trade it once it comes out? All right. My thinking on Polymath, in order for these type of companies to survive, you need one big STO to be successful. Just like, in equities, you only need Dropbox or whatever company beyond meat to have a huge IPO and a huge run up to get everybody involved and paying attention to the space. So the problem with Polymath and security tokens is there's no catalyst, right? It's not that there's a problem with security tokens. There's no catalyst, right? We need, like, Tezos is a catalyst for proof of stake. That's an example, right? So for the securities token universe, the guy, T0, Polymath, Overstock, all these players, right? They need the event, and it hasn't appeared.
Okay, so King Nick says RPX is Red Pulse, renamed to PHX well over a year ago. Oh, wow. I mean, so Red Pulse, I think Red Pulse is dead, guys. I mean, I haven't heard about that since 2017 bull run. I mean, and they were the first Neo ICO. I haven't looked back since December. So I don't really know much, but the fact that I haven't heard of them and the fact that most Neo projects have not performed well, I think is pretty much almost all you need to know about that. But that's just my take with the limited info I have, since I haven't looked back since then. Okay, a few other questions here from the comments. This market is affecting my sleep. Any opinions? I mean, that's the bull market. I mean, bull market and also the volatility in crypto. It comes with the territory. Maybe just hold longer. But hey, as we mentioned, you do have to practice active portfolio management. Just with longer time horizons. Okay, a few other questions here. Respect for the humility. Thank you, Tyrone. Great opinion, guys. Thank you for answering my question. Absolutely. Answer my question too. Okay, what question do you have, Samal? The only problem with crypto I see is government accepting it and people accepting it as fiat. What is the best program website to analyze crypto graph movements? Tokenmetrics.com. I mean, that's why we're here. We do have automated technical analysis, so I definitely recommend you check that out. All right. Tyrone says, tell us your top 5 altcoins under 100 market cap. I mean, just go to tokenmetrics.com. We have the Tokenmetrics Moon Index. It's changing a lot, but those outside the top 100 market cap, some of them aren't even trading yet. So I would say go to the IEO section and maybe check that out. Okay, let me see how many questions we have left here before we wrap up. Okay. All right, so somebody's saying DBFT is more secure than proof of stake or proof of work. Binance now uses DBFT as well. Okay, interesting. Now, DBFT is, I know Binance, for the Binance chain and DEX, they use Tendermint, I believe, from Cosmos and Atom. So I'd have to look into that. Now, I do know lots of projects have been shifting over to Cosmos's technology. I know I spoke with one of the co-founders of Lizelle. They changed as well from Neo to DBFT consensus. All right. What's your view on Lend? I kind of covered this before. It has been improving, but it's not really one of the better DeFi projects. I would just go to DeFiPulse.com and just look at the projects here. Lend is nowhere close to even being in the top 20. So it's really a non-factor at the moment still. Thoughts on Cosmos? We already covered this before. Bill did TA on Cosmos. And we also have it on Tokemetrics. No, I am not advising Ubex. I already talked about this a while back. Over a year ago. This is basically a scam. They used my picture without me asking. So I am not advising them at all. All right, here we have a good question. What's more contagious, Bitcoin or coronavirus? I would say coronavirus. I mean,
yeah, unfortunately, yes.
I mean, it has the name virus in it, and it's gone viral, like legit viral. I mean, Bitcoin has kind of gone viral, but not as viral as the coronavirus. Because if Bitcoin was as contagious as the coronavirus, I mean, all of us would be buying houses on the moon. So, yeah, I think that pretty much tells you all you need to know. Anything to add to that, Bill?
Well, I think the coronavirus and Bitcoin have one thing in common, in that they're both very unpredictable, and their arrival on the scene was very unexpected. Okay. So, we love surprises in Bitcoin because we're crypto people, but you also have to be careful of surprises with things like the coronavirus, because we're not doctors, we're not biologists, but we are market people, and we have to be prepared for surprises, both positive and negative, right? So sort of let that sort of sink in.
All right, sounds good. Okay, next question. When is Sovereign going to be sold? Where? How to purchase? First time buying IEO or ICO? New to crypto? Please give details of purchasing Sovereign. Sovereign is not trading anywhere yet. They've not had an IEO or ICO. They did raise equity from some investors. It is a U.S. company, so they're probably going through the regulation process with the SEC, which could be time-consuming. So you just have to wait until there's an official announcement. Just follow them on their channels, Sovereign's website. I don't know if they have a Telegram group or Discord group, but just follow them there, and maybe on Twitter. It's probably a good place to start. But as with anything in crypto, always do your own research. Only invest what you're willing to lose. Investing in crypto is risky, especially with projects that are not trading anywhere yet. That's why, if anything, it actually makes more sense to wait until something is trading and it has some price history before kind of going in. All right. Okay, let's see here. Ian, many people believe AI is the future. The team I see doing the most in the AI space is AG Singularity. What are your thoughts on this coin? We looked at it a while back and weren't so bullish. We don't have it on Tokenmetrics, so can't really give an official statement on our rating on it. But I mean, it hasn't really done well, to my knowledge. Not sure about its price action as of recent, but other than that, don't really have much to comment about that. Okay. Let's quickly wrap up and end the show. What happened to Substratum? They were in the top 50 coins in 2017. Now the project looks dead. Yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, it's dead. I didn't invest. I never touched it. I passed on it a while back. But I mean, projects that did well in 2017 or had some attention in 2017, not all of them will make it in 2020 and beyond. It's basically the flashy object syndrome. And they had their 15 seconds of fame, and people moved on. I mean, that's the altcoin market for you. Have you heard of Substratum, Bill?
I have not.
Yeah. So that's pretty much basically dead. Okay, question for Bill. Bill, thoughts on SPX DJI potentially topping soon? Will it affect the crypto market?
Okay, so that's a great question. The answer is yes, it's going to affect crypto because equities portfolio managers are going to need to add something to their portfolio that's going up, right? There's just so much uncertainty about the coronavirus, okay? And just to give you sort of an idea, I'm coming up with a screen share right here, okay? Okay, so here's equities, right? We're all jealous because we all want our altcoins to do this, right? All right, but when you start to see like stock futures are trading right now, okay? And one thing you'll notice about equities in this range is that it was virtually impossible to be short. Like every time you got bearish, like right here, what happened? It ripped up in your face and made a new high, right? You just could not get shorted, right? The same thing happened here. Every time you tried to get shorted, you just got destroyed, okay? And normally when that happens, that can be extreme sentiment, right? Now, could S&P fall into a range? Yes. Could there be a dramatic adjustment in asset prices because of political and geopolitical events? Yeah, right. We've been pounding the table on this since December. So yes, equities can top, risk assets can be revalued, right? Does it have to be an hysterical, dramatic event? Not necessarily, but the slower it happens, the longer it takes people to see what's going on, sort of the more powerful the true event can be, right? Bitcoin has been building a slow bull market and equities have been ignoring the news.
All right, well said. Thank you, Bill. Okay, and going to the next question. Can you take a look at Digibyte, DGB? Okay, yeah. Yes, we can. Okay, let me first start off with what Tokenmetrics has to say about DGB. Okay, so Tokenmetrics actually likes DGB at the moment from a overall score and TA perspective. It thinks it's very bullish. The price has been trending up relatively. Are you able to pull that up, Bill, from your end?
I'm checking right now.
Okay. As Bill does that, let me go back here to the overall score. So 80% compared to the other cryptocurrencies, that would give it a rank of, it's out of the top 30. It's 33rd on our Tokenmetrics ranking, our Moon Index. So, I mean, there are better projects available at the moment. Obviously, Decred, NEM, Ethereum, PundiX, Amizago at the moment based on the momentum. But, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay, so for Digibyte, right, I guess the first best thing is that it stopped making new lows, right? And this area here definitely has the feeling of kind of like a head and shoulders bottom, right? Now, the thing about Digibyte is, can they figure out how to sort of get this accepted as money somehow? So the way I would describe Digibyte is, it is one catalyst away from really moving. The question is, how much will you age before you get that catalyst? Right. So it is decent. The chart isn't bad, but the question is, how long do you have to wait? If you had like some speculative money and you wanted to try something, it's not a bad idea, but I wouldn't be like, okay, this is my primary crypto investment.
Yeah, well said, well said. Thank you, Bill. Okay, this is the last question. Since we do have to wrap up, it has been a long live stream, and we've had Bill on for a while as well. Okay, so last question. The audience wants Bill again to take a look at Verge XVG.
Okay.
Okay, as he's pulling that up, let me see what Tokemetrics has to say about Verge as well. So Tokemetrics doesn't like it at the moment. Let's see if the TA matches up with that. It's saying it's neutral from a TA perspective.
Okay, so when I look at Verge here, we're in a bull market, right? So there's a lot of excitement going on in other parts of the market. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on with Verge, right? Now, does that mean Verge is dead? I don't know. But I don't know that I would be like staring at the screen waiting for this to be my retirement.
Right.
Right. Because it's in like, it's either dead or in a basing process. And I think if you're bullish Verge, you have to be expecting a catalyst. So I'm not aware of one. It doesn't mean there's not one out there. Okay. So just allocate your capital towards things that you like and things that you think will have catalysts and will go up. And if you approach it that way, then the person who asked the question can analyze whether or not Verge is good for him or her.
All right. Well said, Bill. Okay, well, with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in this Sunday on the Tokemetrics live stream. Be sure to subscribe, share, and post any comments you have. Also follow us on Twitter. Follow Bill at crypto_noble on Twitter. So send him some love. Follow me at Diary of a Made Man. And we'll be back next week. Thank you guys so much. And be sure to subscribe to tokemetrics.com. We have a 14-day free trial with the coupon code CryptoFamily. That's one word, all caps, CryptoFamily. And also join the affiliate program and earn up to 20% lifetime recurring commissions. With that being said, the moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Thank you very much.
Since the creation of the internet, every industry has been turned upside down. Amazon changed retail. Uber changed transportation. YouTube changed video forever. With the invention of crypto, money is next. At the speed technology is growing, the future of money and securities are digital. 9 out of 10 millennials do not trust banks. The value of money relies on trust. Government debt is higher than it's ever been before. Central banks continue to print money. Fortunately, The world has a new solution. Experts predict in 7 years, 10% of the world's economy will be in crypto-based assets. Today, 1 billion people have access to the financial industry. Crypto is about empowering the other 6 billion people by banking beyond banked. Do not underestimate this. Do you wish you invested in Google, Amazon, or Netflix before anyone ever knew about them? $1,000 invested in Netflix turned to over $500,000. At Token Metrics, we help you find the next Netflix. Token Metrics users think differently about investing. They are early adopters looking for financial freedom. They are people who see a better world. A world without international borders. We believe in a world where everyone has access to the next financial revolution. At Token Metrics, we are creating a bridge that gets you to that revolution. We will help you make sound investments in this new world. The world's best investors do not rely on their intuition. They embrace technology and AI to invest. Token Metrics uses AI to find invisible patterns in data to help you invest and trade in crypto. In the past, we have used our data-driven system to achieve financial freedom. Now, we are giving you the keys. We created Token Metrics to be the only platform you'll ever need to make money in crypto. We give you AI and access to crypto experts at the best price. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond.
Yeah.